hope I'm unmuted, y'all. Okay, am I unmuted? Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, are we good? All right, good. All right, you guys, listen. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. I am so excited about today. Thank you guys so much for coming in. It's your host, Nikki A. Kaiser. What's going on? Welcome to the Simply Her Empowerment Connection show. Hey, what's going on? Hey, how's it going, Miss Harmony? Hello, Pastor. How you doing, Pastor? Pastor, we will be talking. Y'all, my pastor over here, I get in trouble every week. I just need y'all to know that. Just know that I'm well and live and everything is well. All right, y'all. Listen, let's pay a few little bills and then we're going to jump right into it. I'm super excited. Our guest is here. Y'all work with us, work with me. It's technology. Y'all know I'm learning this thing again. I'm going to mess around and get a whole production crew and y'all going to be ready for it, okay? So look, y'all, I got a flyer. Here we go. One of our amazing sponsors, Elite Professional Services. Correction, Eli's Learning Academy 1 and 2. Hey, Miss LaShandra Eli. Thank you so much for being one of our amazing sponsors. And yes, if you guys are looking for some amazing child care services, go ahead on and go over there to Eli's Learning Academy 1 or 2 and get your babies in there and get you some great services. There's an early child care education before and after school programming. They give you meals. They got summer camp open Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go over there and tell Miss Eli that Miss Nikki sent you over there so those babies can get some good quality child care services. Thank you for being one of our amazing sponsors. All right. It is Elite Professional Services. Now listen, tax training is going to begin on September the 17th. Go ahead on and get yourselves in there and go over there and check them out. Check out what they're doing over there at Elite Professional Services. They're just not going to teach you how to do taxes. They're going to teach you how to work with the software. You're going to get a EFIN will be provided for you. And they're going to give you some advice and they're going to teach you the laws. Come on now. We need to know how to do this. And that's what Elite Professional Services is going to do. Tell Sonya that Nikki sent you. Okay. Ain't Nikki sent you over there. I want y'all to be a part of this. All righty. Thank you, Elite Professional Services. Thank you, Eli's Learning Academy, for being amazing, amazing sponsors. If you would like to be an amazing sponsor, y'all know y'all want to, come on over and help us out. Each and everything that you pay will go towards Simply Her Movement, our nonprofit organization. Now, listen, we are good ground, baby. When I tell you we good ground, y'all better come on and get a part of this. It is time to give those nice donations and be able to give and be able to receive some amazing tax write-offs. Come on, big companies and all of you guys who need these amazing charitable write-offs, we can help you with that over here at Simply Her Movement, because what you give is a blessing to us to be able to help the community. And so I'm super excited about it. You have been plugged in the wonderful words of Mimi. Listen, y'all, Jess is in the building. I'm super excited about it. Hey, what's going on, Pastor Scott? Y'all, Joshua T. Scott, I'm going to go ahead and put him a real plug in there because he need to come on and be one of our sponsors. He is doing some amazing things in the community. He's building something, affordable housing. Y'all better get with him. Thank you so much. We are definitely going to do our best to keep up the great work here in the community as always. Okay, y'all, Jess is in the building. If you don't know who Jess Escalante is, baby, if she ain't never jumped in your DM and told you how well and wonderful that she need you to be a part of the great things that she does, well, I experienced that. Well, over 2 years ago, Jess popped up into my DM and she wanted to connect, and I am so excited about I was able to connect with Jess Escalante. She is an amazing woman who has some amazing visions, and not only that too, she's a resource girl. Yep, she got them resources, y'all. Y'all always talking about I'm the plug, baby. Jess is the plug too. She does it well, and also she loves to help mothers, families who are going through their time of infant states with babies, just postpartum and having the babies. She's a doula. She does all these great things. She don't come on here and tell you all the amazing things that she does, but here's the thing. She's returning back. Oh, she's coming back again. So y'all know we doing where are they now? What they doing now? What they got going on? Why? Because it's only important that you guys do get a chance to see our previous guests. I like to bring people onto the stage who really seriously was a big resource, a real big help to what we do here on our platform. And so it's only fairly right that we have Jess to come back because she too has been in her resting season. Y'all, let me tell you something. Y'all better recognize and pay attention. When us greats go and sit down and rest, that's all I'm gonna say. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, y'all get ready. Put your hands together. Clap, clap, clap for Jess Escalante. She's in the building. Hey, Jess.
Hey, hey. Thank you for having
Girl.
me, Nikki.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You know, we can't do this without a great, amazing guest like yourself. And I'm super excited about it. Just tell the people who you are, what you doing, what you got going on. And I'm going to get some folks to come over here and hang out with us. Go ahead.
Lord, well, Miss Nikki said the greats was resting, so I'm gonna put myself in that number and say I'm a great. I'm resting right now, so who I am, what I'm doing in this season, listen, don't hold me to it, because I'm forever in a evolution and a work in progress, and God is always doing a new thing in me. But my passion always is people. I love people. I love sisterhood. I love womanhood. I love unity. And my real big heart is for infants and moms and things like that. And so when I was here before, I came on behalf of First Time Moms, my nonprofit, providing education resources and support. I have taken a really big step back from that, from the nonprofit, but not from what I do and what I've been called to, which is that education resources and support to my families, just in a for-profit arena. So I am doing postpartum doula work currently, where I am supporting moms from the night that they come home from the hospital till about 3 months old, helping them get comfortable and confident in being a mom. And I absolutely love everything about it. I'm also being a mom, a better mom, working on being a better mom and a better wife and a better friend in this season, and being refined and all those things. And so that's me. That's who I am. I am all things. I love event production. So you will probably always see me putting on some type of event or celebrating something or doing something. So that is me as well. I'm a little bit of everything. Okay. It's not too many things that I cannot do, thankfully. Because God is good, and if He give it to me, I can pretty much do it. But that's kind of who I am and what I do and where my focus is right now.
Yes. And that's what it's about. Y'all listen. Jess has this karaoke thing going on. I'm gonna join in. I'm gonna go for real. You know what? That's one thing I said that I'm gonna stop doing. Telling folks I'm showing up today.
Yeah, because I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I've been trying to get you to come sing just a ooh and an ah for us one good time in the last 3
I'm gonna
months.
come. I'm gonna come and sing Betty Wright. You know that's my jam, Betty Wright. No pain.
I got
You
your
know.
backup. I got you.
Listen, I like to do me a little. Don't blame Mr. Charlotte. Listen, I'm gonna come for real. Cause I'm trying to get out there and do more social things this time in this season. You know, more social things where I can just say, we ain't talking about that. We gonna talk about this stage up here. You know, cause you know people love to plug in, baby. They love to plug in, pull that energy, and they get real good at offended when you tell them, no, we're not talking about that today. But you know what, Jess? I applaud you for being those things for yourself. And just as you said, you're there to support self this time. So, Jess, let's get into this conversation. Listen, let's go ahead on and talk about what you are in your today now. What drove you to the listen? Everybody else has been served well. Everyone else has been seeing me and they have been receiving all from me. I've been pulled here, there, and everywhere. What made you just say, pump brakes, let's see what we can do for family? Tell us about it.
I think you probably know better than I know how when this is just in us to pour and to give and to serve, it pretty much take God himself to say, hey, sit down. You know, when he begins to like close the doors, you know what I'm saying? And I really have come to understand that I shouldn't have to fight, battle, wrestle to do what is meant for me to do in this season. Not saying that there won't be obstacles, not saying that everything's going to come to me easy, but I know a difference in an obstacle that the enemy has set up to deter me and a door that God has just simply said no. And so for me, it wasn't something that I was really like, oh yeah, I'm just going to cool out this season. To the point that when Beryl was going on, I called my friend and said, I really had to have a conversation with myself because I see all these nonprofit sisters out here working. They without lights too, but they handing out this and that. And I'm not offering anything. knowing that God has told me this is not your pouring season. This is not for you. You go sit in a corner and be still. But it took a lot in me to say, that's great that they're doing that. Support how you can. If you want to send a financial donation, amen. But God has already told you that this is not the season in which you do that. So then it made me check my motive. You know me, I'm always self-assessing. I'm always doing self-work.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, where is this even coming from? Do I feel left out because I feel like I'm not being seen? Or am I feeling left out because a part of my identity has been so attached to service that now I am looking to fill that place? So I really had to do some soul searching in that time and quiet myself down so that my spirit could really communicate with me and let me know like what was really going on with that. But yeah, it wasn't easy. I fought tooth and nail, really trying to, you know how we do. We will make something happen. We gonna put 2 and 2 plus 4. We can talk and talk. We've been in the game long enough. We got enough connections. We done sold enough seed that we can pull on something. So, but when every door kept closing, and these doors were closing for others, they were still open to others, but for me, it was closing. I had to really say, what is going on? Like, God, what is going on? And when he took me way back, he took me way back to when he gave me the vision. He said, I never gave you this vision for you to execute it the way you did. You did what was in your wheelhouse and what was comfortable for what you wanted to do, but not what I gave you to do. And so I said, oh, okay. Because when God gave me First Time Moms, it wasn't a nonprofit. It wasn't. It was a for-profit. It was really the working class mom, the working class and higher end class. Because I felt like people on welfare on lower income, there's a lot of things. There's WIC. There's, they make you go to a nutritionist in order to, they have a lot of resources that you almost have to take in order to get the resources. And people almost feel like, well, when you have the money or if you don't make government assistance, you don't need the assistance. And that's just not true, right?
That's not true.
And so I really wanted to, when God gave it to me, I remember seeing this beautiful space that had a safe space for co-parents to exchange their child. They could drop them there. The other parent could come and get them. They could do counseling there. There was just all these things. We were going to have a whole showroom where these big brand names would send stuff, Graco and all that. They would send the car seats and stuff so parents can come in and try. I remember God giving me this vision vividly, but the vision was bigger than what I could imagine. And so what was the easiest thing? Oh, I'm going to make it nonprofit. And I'm going to ask people to donate. And I made it to where it could fit in my hands and not what God had given me. And so anytime we do that, right, we know God got to go make that thing right. He like, yeah, that was cute. I let you do that. And I'm glad you got that out your system. But I still want you to do it the way that I want you to do it. And so with that, I really couldn't fight with him no more. Like I said, every door that I tried to knock on, every way I tried to make, every connection I tried to reignite or to fire up again, it was just like, no. And so with that, I had to really just kind of sit with myself. And you know how we get busy. And busy is a great distraction, right, from what God is talking about.
From real reality.
We get to putting our hands on stuff. We get to moving around and we moving so much and we doing so much. And it's a good thing, but it's not a God thing. So we're moving and doing all these things and they're good things and we feel justified in our good thing. And so we're not even consulting God no more because we know it's a good thing. And so he was just like, I can't even. So he really just had to pretty much take it away from me. And when he took it away and I couldn't make anything happen, I had no choice but to say, okay, God, what you want me to do? Right? How do you want me to do this? If you want it to be this, you're going to have to make it this. And so he then began to reveal just so many things like, no, that's not what I gave you. So that's not what I want you to do. I want you to do it this way. That is where your resources lie. That's where your richness, your wealth lies. That's where your promises lie when you do it my way, not the way that you're doing it. He told me you tired because you've been doing it your way. You tired of chasing because you've been doing it your way. Because the bags that I have for you, you don't have to chase. So, baby, by the time I got through all of that. What more was it for me to do besides sit down, Nikki, and rest? What else could I do?
So y'all just
What else?
y'all just didn't come to play tonight. I don't know if y'all let me say this again. Like I said in my intro, when the greats go rest, I just yeah, when the greats go rest. Good evening. Good evening. Trust him even when you can't see him. Yes. That come on. Eli's Learning Academy 1 and 2 is in the building. Hello, LaShandra Eli. Listen, she didn't come to play, y'all. I don't know what you come to do, as they say at the churches. Baby, she didn't came to just wreck this thing up because okay, just go back and watch the first time she was here in 2022. Y'all go see that one and then come on back to catch up and say, who is this girl? Baby, the one from then and the one today, she resting. She resting. But you told the truth. Just you literally just wrapped up all of us who said, I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna go back in the cave. I'm going to the cave. You literally, honestly, have just wrapped up all of our feelings in one big nutshell, and that is, now I gotta go sit down for a second. Let me get this together because I have done something. The seen and unseen dangers that God keeps us from, and that's even from keeping us from ourselves. So yeah. And when he said do the vision, because he said write the vision, make it plain so men may be able to run with it, right? For I know the plans for you to prosper you and not to harm you. So because he knew the plan, yeah. So what you're saying, Jess, is that even when you saw the Burrow effect, we still was in a place of where I gotta get out there. Because here's the truth of that too. I was so limited on what I was supposed to do. Yeah. I did not do all of what I know I have been able to do in the past. You're just doing this, this, and this. And I promise you, I felt I am not worthy, Lord. I am not doing enough, God. You done did more than what you supposed to because you asked me, could you do? And I put you on a limit restriction. Woo! We be hollering, take the limits off. Now put the limit on, God. Put the boundary line there, set it there, and let's, because you know that's really how he really does separate the wheat from the tare. Like you do find out who the reals and the fakes are in the midst of all of that.
Yeah.
Whew. So Jess, as you are resting, as you are replenishing, as you are refueling, as you are in your Jess moment, I have saw you do some amazing things, and I love what you said. I have been enjoying watching you and your girlfriends. Y'all have really, truly shown a real live spotlight to how friends can come together and really, truly, honestly, not just sit on a stage and say, we friends, but really seriously, y'all have owned this stage and shown not just the beautiful pictures, but the consistency and the continuation of showing support in how you guys show love and healthy respect and cheering on each other. I mean, I ain't just saying it because I get a chance to see a few of those behind the scene moments, but I'm talking about what you showed the book. Let's talk about that because sisterhood is something that we have a lot of this going around talking about, hey sis, what's going on, girl? Oh, that's my sis right there. But as soon as they turn their head, child, it's like, they turn their head and we on to something else. Yes, you do love your girls. Yes. I always call y'all the real live little black girl golden girls.
I love it. Nigga, you know me, and when I say that, I don't mean you know me as in we hang out often, but I feel like you know me in the spirit, and you have picked up on the type of heart I have for people, and and so I am. I like to think at least that I am as genuine as they come, right? And when I say I love people, I really do love people. Do I like all people? Absolutely not. But I love people, like I really do. And for me, this success is so limited,
And
isolated.
wait right there, Jess. Everybody, like and love is two different things. God said for you to love people.
Right.
He said to love them. It's a blessing when you got a few folks that you can like and love. So y'all, you stay within what God said. He
Right
said
now.
love them.
Love.
That's what we got to understand. He said love
Right.
them. Now if you like them and love them, oh, you really doing something. Yeah.
Amen. Right,
Yeah.
because he loves us, but he don't like a lot of the stuff that we do, and he don't like a lot of the, the spirits we carry, and a lot of the, So he loves us, right? But he don't always
Yeah.
like what comes along with it. But I mean, I really do love people, and to me, success is so limited, isolated. You know what I'm saying?
Look, there go Nick. Love you, friend.
To me, success is so limited, isolated. We can only do so much by ourselves. The greatest version of us is produced amongst people because we were never created to be by ourselves, right? We were supposed to work. We are the body of Christ. A finger is great when it's attached to a hand. but one finger sitting on a counter does me no good. A foot is great. But all of these things are as valuable as they are because we work together in unison to bring forth something. And so for me, I would love to see us as a people be able to do that. And so with these amazing women I get to call friends, I mean, I've met each of them in different times in life, in different phases in my life, in different ways. And each of us have a relationship that is separate and that is our own. But ultimately how it has simply happened, you start a group chat for one thing, and it just kind of became a thing. They were, like I said, individually my friends. And then I kind of started a group chat for something, and then we all became, like this group of friends. And like I said, it's beautiful in the sense that I don't see it a lot. I don't see that a lot of women have. And it's unfortunate to me. Each of us are married, so let me just say that, because I feel like a lot of
That's a blessing.
right. I mean, it's for people that don't want to be married. Hey, I don't knock that either. Because let me just tell you, baby, it's a work. Okay, it's a work. It's a work. Okay, a real live work. So I'm
Now,
not.
I say it's a blessing because I say that's a blessing because you can have single friends that can be good and helpful to you. But of course, to have all your good girlfriends in the same manners of we can all on one accord agree. Woo, child, we just want to take them and shake them.
Right. We can all just take them and shake them, right? And
Yeah, we take them and shake them.
on one end, I have Journey that has been married. I always mess with her. Like I tell her that when her mama was pregnant and his mama was pregnant, that they babies leak like Jesus and John the Baptist because they just been married just that long. And I said when they babies they're becoming one because they've been married for such a long time. So I have that in one aspect. But then one of my friends is celebrating her 1 year anniversary. So we have a wide variety of aspects here. But I'm saying that to say also that I feel like a lot of women feel like, well, long as I can have my husband, I don't need other friends. And so for me, it's just so important to.
Ooh, come on, Nick. Nick say 21 years. 21
years.
Come on, God.
Okay, that's forever.
Congratulations, Nick. And I love to watch Nick Journey's her little chronicles that she put them chronicles out and talk about different little things, and it just be so hilarious, especially when she talk about the things she doing in the car, and the poor man just be having to go through it. Lord, I tell the husbands, I'm gonna get y'all a union and get y'all some representation. Somebody that can kind of help y'all through these processes with these wives.
They will tell you they know I'm the head of the husband unit. I tell them any grievances they have, please forward them to me. I will talk to the ladies about it because listen, y'all do the men folk right now. But they all of us are married, but to me it's such an important place to still have a woman or a friend in your life that is not related to you, that can be a safe space to you.
Yeah.
See, I told y'all I'm the husband.
Yes, you the husband.
I don't play about
Everybody got to have somebody. The men folk, they be so quiet and nice and just bless their little hearts be going through, but they need somebody to kind of represent them to just shake you sisters back in place. Yes, definitely.
That's me. I'm like this, and they not doing right. And I can always make them a little something. How the men folk doing? Y'all need me to bring a little something over there for them to eat or something? How can I help support the men folk in this season? Okay, because I just need all of them to be on one accord, like we all good. But yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing to have women that you can talk to and confide in and create that safe space that are not necessarily family. So they're not, you don't feel that obligation to them. But I mean, I'm not related to any of these women, but again, my relationship with each of them is so special. And again, it's something that I really, if you've been to any of my events, I did do a Mother's Day event. I did a Valentine's Day event. Anytime if you come to any of my events, my goal is always to create that atmosphere where women feel safe to just be who they are, to just be. I hate that mean girl bull crap. I cannot stand it. Like I can't stand it for anything in the world. So I when I create these events, I really want the atmosphere to be so welcoming, so loving, so so warm, so that if you leave out of this space and that if you don't have a friend. I remember meeting Webb, and you know how Webb is. She's so outspoken, so bubbly, so optimistic. And I'm just like, I know this girl got a crap load of friends, right? She got to have 40 friends. And so when she was like, she had no friends, I'm like, what? How? How? And I told her, I said, I can understand not wanting friends because friendship is work. It's work. We've had to have conversations. We've had to, say, hey, I had a disagreement on this, or no, I don't necessarily like this. But for me, it's worth the work. I mean, absolutely every part of it is worth the work for me. I wouldn't trade these beautiful women for anything in the world. I love that we are able to hold each other accountable, that we're able to celebrate life together. For me, adult friendships are so important because we got to probably bury our parents together, and God forbid our spouses and those kind of things. But these are the relationships that I think really keep you going when times just kind of look tough, and a lot of times, especially you and I were talking about church before we went live, but a lot of people kind of wrap everything in the church, right? If they support their friends, they leadership, everything is wrapped up in church, and when they leave, then they don't have any of it because the people that was there say you can't talk to them no more, or whatever it was, or it wasn't technically friendship. It was just the fake comments like co-workers. You see them every day, so it was just convenient. But all
right, Bree says she love you right back.
My baby doll, she's so pretty. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's great to have different outlets so that way you can be able to express yourself and however you need to. So I'm so grateful for those. I pray if you're watching this and you don't have a friend, baby, be intentional about getting a friend this year. Be very intentional about getting a friend, and a true friend, not somebody you feel like talk about you behind your back. And if you feel like that about everybody, that's probably a you thing anyway, and you probably need to do a little bit more self-work. I'm gonna just say that because everybody not talking about you. Everybody not talking about you. Now it's probably you, but not somebody that's talking about you or any of that kind of stuff, or you feel like
so wait a minute, we ain't gonna just roll past that because that's an area that's something. Don't roll past it. Come on back. So what you're saying is that you have to sit in the middle of that and find out if it's really truly a genuine misunderstanding, or was it just genuinely you just decided everybody is against you?
I mean, I said what I said. It's if everybody is talking about you, I'm here to tell you, it's everybody not talking about you. I mean, first of all, nobody has that kind of time. I mean, nobody has, so everybody's not talking about you. I don't know what has occurred in your life that makes you feel like everybody is talking about you, but I can guarantee you everybody's not talking about you. So if you feel
So do you think that happens from time to time because you have said some things?
Probably, because you talk about everybody. Probably that could be definitely one of the reasons. If you know you sit up and talk about everybody, you could probably feel like everybody talk about you because you sit up and talk about everybody. And before you go making friends, work on that. Work on that. Because it's a reason.
Because I believe truly, honestly, that childhood friendships and the way that you navigate them from the childhood sector into your adult life, childhood friendships were so innocent. We did make friends based upon the neighbor who stayed next to you or school and things like that. Like, it was a lot of unofficial connections, whereas you just showed up one day at the locker and somebody, they standing there with you and they's like, come on, you sit at this table, we sit in, now all of a sudden we friends. We just do it every day. But as adults, and especially with this, like you said, this mean girl thing, baby, listen, let's talk about this right there, because oh my goodness, I'm so tired of women coming around. First of all, let me say, I am not about women movements and girl pushes and all. I wasn't for that mess at one point. You could not, baby, I can work with them children. I can work with them little old people. I can give you every resource off my shelf. But when the Lord say you're going to be in a women's ministry, you about what? Wait a minute, Jesus, they too much. And I was like, I don't think that's the era for me, Lord. That's something else. But guess what? No. And I was like, well, Lord, if we going to do it, we got to do it a different way, because we can't do it like they've been doing it. Hey, Kim from the West Side. Yes, ma'am. I miss you too. I was like, I can't do this like this. I'm not going to sit here and do these waiting to excel and girl, girl, loose your hair down. And no, because I just thought that was too fake, too much. And then only the experts is the ones that's the high and mighty ones. No. So when the Lord gave me her pouring, it was like, this pour got to be real authentic. we got to come on, do a small scale. Let's not go major. Let's do small scales, because I wanted to really seriously reach the heart of that woman that's really seriously saying, I just cannot be seen in the spaces with all these people where I am. And so I want to give a big shout out to Nick Journey. Every time I have saw Nick on different platforms with different places, some of them I kind of cringed a little bit, like, ooh. But then when they've shown the clippings, I said, okay, Nick went in there and broke that ground up. Good. Because I be concerned of that. I do. I really be concerned of that. And I do, Jess, I pay attention to those flyers, because I'm like, is it going to be a beneficial place to where these persons are going to show up, pay their $50, $60, $70, $100, $3,000, and are they going to get really a real live connection where they are? And are they really seriously going to be able to go into that space and get some real live help, or will they be muted? So, Nick say, phew, I'm just saying, yeah. I mean, I have just paid attention to that, and I paid attention to it because, oh, bless it. I paid attention to it because that's something that has occurred over the years, before pandemic, before the Lord went on and shut everybody down and was not allowing nobody to do no more conferences. And I was so grateful for it, because I'm like, Lord, they about to wear the saints out with this, with these $75, $85, $125,000 and giving them nothing to stand on. And so I love what I have saw you guys do as a group. You come on your one time powerful time of a month, but you leave enough conversation and engagement. And then now that you guys have started adding a few activities and outings and social events to go with it, it's like, okay, you can go and experience this in the room, not only just from that place. So just how did you really seriously, you guys come to that place to where y'all say, we're going to take this? I think it was the Galentine's when y'all came back again, when you came back again at your event, pulled your little event one out and came on back out and started working that thing out. So how did you guys come up with that as an idea thought together?
So honestly, I will event the girls to death. Okay, if it was to me up to me, we would be doing fall. Let's have a fall party. Let's have Friendsgiving. Now let's have And so I remember going to them and saying. And saying to
Nick said that's all you. You always the producer. Absolutely.
I'm like, friend, I want to have a Valentine's Day. And she like, stop saying what you want to do and just do it. Again, good friends. They hold you accountable, right?
Yeah.
I don't like to keep talking about church, but you know.
Listen, we talk about everything here. And let's just go ahead on. We got some super saved ones on here. They need to be delivered too. They watching, all of them watching. Hey y'all, we love y'all. Gotta talk about it.
Hey, okay. So I'm gonna just say this.
Bree say we cannot take any credit. That's all just.
Thank y'all, friends. But I'm gonna say this: having good friends and good people around you, especially again if you're gonna be in something like a body of, a church or a body or something like that. Like you said, Nikki, even with the pouring table, if this is something that's now a movement or a sisterhood, holding each other accountable. Holding each other accountable is such a beautiful aspect of friendship, and it should be. And the reason I was leaning more towards church because oftentimes friends said, "Hey, stop saying it and just do it. Give me a date and produce it," right? And even for me, there was so much fear around it because I've been doing events since as long as I can remember. I mean, I think I was maybe 21, 22. I produced something called the Love Gala, and it was for Valentine's Day, couples. There was live bands, 3-course meal, whole nine, right? And I remember I would spend thousands of dollars on the event. Maybe 15 people would come. They would rant and rave about, oh my God, this was such a great thing. Hope you do it again. And I'm like, I can't even afford to close this one out because I spent $5,000-$6,000. There's 15 of y'all in here for a $60 ticket. That don't add up, right? Right. And so it was so much almost anxiety and fear about going out and producing events again because I'm like, I'm a mother now. I'm a wife. I have a home. I got bills, real life bills. We all feeling the inflation. Yeah. I can't go out here spending thousands of dollars to produce something that's going to cost me millions, right? Yeah. And so, I remember telling her this, and I'm like, I want to do it, but I'm scared. I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. I want to do it, and she was like, hey, do it. Stop saying it, do it. Put a date out. So she goes, I put it out on Facebook. And say, well, if I host this, how many of you guys would do it? Right. That's not good enough for her. You got to know your friends too, because baby, she immediately went on there, commented, okay, y'all, she going to have a post up and then text me and say, stop asking people to validate you. Post the thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to get a filler for what I want to do. Right. So ultimately do it. Still very afraid. Fearless is not the absence of fear. So basically, she says you got to do it while afraid, while facing the fear. Okay, I finally decided to do it. Then I'm still scared, right? And we talked about this prior to going live, where this is a season where God is building my faith in Him. And my other friend and text me, I'm like, y'all pray for me, right? They know one of them done pushed me out into the deep. The other friend come back and say, now listen, friend, I done been in prayer for you, and God said, this time. Others. I said, okay, all right. And he did it. And he did. That and the pictures proved it. They got evidence. But what they say, they got receipts. Got receipts, thank the Lord. I mean, it was the first event I had ever done that was profitable. I mean, it was the first event I had ever done that was beyond sold out. I had never had that level of success again. And again, for me, I think it was more so about God just saying timing is everything. Oftentimes when we do things that are not in the timing in which God can give it to us now. And it could be 10 years from now, because God is not a God of our simple timing, right? He gives us what He knows. And so I was doing things then that were probably for now, but I burnt myself out doing them then that I had such a fear around it. And the enemy knows, he knows these things, right? He has this awareness like, yep, I remember, see, she got burnt out before, so I don't have to worry about her doing God's plan when it's really destined for her to do it. Because she got so afraid from when I brought her out before that she ain't gonna do it no more. But it was almost like God was just saying, I gave you that very thing, and it's for you to do. You just got to align in the timing that I have for you and the connection that I have for you, and I'm gonna make that thing right in its time. And so I'm like, okay, God. I had such a great time. Like you said, we had receipts. It was an amazing time. Women, I mean, I think it was over 30 Black women businesses there. And for me, that makes my heart just jump because I am able to show each
big shout out to those business women. Yes. There was some really great women. I know a few of those good vendors that was there, and they have some real good products. And yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you know, to let each and every one of them come up. I mean, we made time for that. We ain't even get to play all our games. I wanted to make sure every woman that represented a business, even if she wasn't a vendor, but she was in the building, I wanted her to get up and say, you know, this is what I do. This is how I do it. All of those things. Yes, that's good, friend. Some things you need to burn out so it can be all God. And that is that
right there is a word right there, Nick.
Yeah. It is. And so we got to talk about them, but it was just such a beautiful environment. I mean, every woman, it wasn't, even if there tried to be nasty girl energy, it was too much love, and it just got, I mean, you couldn't, you couldn't. It was just too much love in the room that you couldn't help but have a good time. And that was like, I mean, and what I love about the atmosphere is, I mean, we had women in their 20s to women in their 60s. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you had to be a young woman. No, this was for women. And so one woman was so impressed. She said, she's in her 60s, matter of fact, and she only have sons. And she was like, I need you to not stop doing this. She was like, I can't. She was like, this is what she's like, I don't know what you do, but this is what you're supposed to be doing, you know? And so she was like, she really encouraged me to keep going, to keep making it happen. And so because of her, she was like, she told me, she's 60 something, you know, she old enough to be my mama. Baby, she said, don't wait no year to have no other event. You need to have something quarterly. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So when
makes sense.
Right. And so while the momentum is hot, you need to put something else out there. And so I'm like, again, all that same fear. I'm like, God did it this time, but I don't know if he's gonna keep doing it, right? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Children of Israel. Now I get you out of slavery, but you don't think that I'm gonna save you through the. Why do we do that? He just did it, so we know he can. But here we are again, doubting if he will. Why do we do that? You got out. Now you say he done brought you over here for the people to get you over the water. Now he done open the water, let y'all go across. Y'all across. Now you complaining because this ain't the promised land. Why we do that? But that's what I was doing.
Because we don't have our own self accountability to know. We take for granted those moments with him. Prove yourself to me, God, is where we always at. And he didn't prove himself so many times. He proved himself every time you get to wake up, but that ain't enough. And of course, it goes back to, remember, the person who got a chance to speak into you, who you trusted your ears to. When you have allowed someone to speak into your ear gate, you have trusted them and allowed them to say something. And then they said the wrong thing out of their own fear, their own envy, their own jealousy, their own Saul moments. Oh, okay. Hey, Trish, what's going on? Trish Douglas is in the building. Yeah. So when that happens, then you just let those words, you try to let those words be the words that's going to take you to the next place. And that's not even the truth. Because again, who told you this? You remember we talked about that last time. Who told you this? Who got the right to tell you this? Who told you this? So when God sent that young lady along who you didn't have no connection, no relations to, because it's easy for me to say, Jess doing great. Jess is it. Go Jess. And you like, Nikki gonna say that. But to hear a stranger, hear the stranger who says, ma'am, I need this. And then I don't just need you to do this one time. I'm going to need you to do this 4 times a year. Yeah. I'm going to need you to go ahead on and get yourself together, get back with your team, and y'all go ahead on and get ready. Put the fly out. Because literally, honestly, right then and there, you should have had the flyer ready for them to go on and prepay. Well, I'm just saying. Woo! I'm just telling you what I was told when they hit me this year with my her party. One of your good friends was up in there. Well was the Kickstarter of that mess and had me in my tears and everything. I got a little receipt, and I'm like, wait a minute, Jesus. Yeah, because it's like, somebody waiting on you, and you so busy waiting on people that ain't waiting on you. You got people that's holding you down, anchoring you, and they trying to keep you down to the bottom of the sea. And God is like, cut them cords and let's go roll down here. Because somebody waiting on you, ma'am. They need that room. That's why the energy and the love and the pure heart and all the genuineness was already saturated there, because that space was made for just those individuals. And truth be told, those very people who we think got rocks and got it going on, them the very people that don't have it going on. Why? Because they too busy watching you go on. I'm just saying. Hey, cousin. How's it going, cousin? Yeah, I'm just saying, and that's what it is. So what you did is nothing short of what you are. Sometimes it just takes us a little time to catch up to it.
Right.
We be having our little short bus moments too. But
short. Do you hear me? I think it's only 4 seats on my bus sometimes. Just 4. Just one for the Father, one for the Son, one for the person in me.
And then it's me.
Yeah. Me. That's it. That's all I can get on there. Short.
Yeah. That's the truth. It's the real truth. Hold on, let's pay some bills, Jess. All right, you guys, listen. We are here again. Elite Professional Services is in the building. And also we got Eli's Learn Academy 1 and 2. LaShondra Eli is an amazing business owner. She has an early child care center. Why don't you guys go over there and take those babies over there? They are open Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And yes, they got after school program, meals, and of course, there's resources for families. So y'all going over there and see LaShondra Eli and let her help you with them babies. Oh, yes. And if you're looking for someone to help you with your taxes, there it is, Elite Professional Services. Sonia, she got a class coming up on the 17th, y'all. Go over there and get yourself some learning trainings about how to do proper taxes. Go to Elite Professional Services. They also have financial classes, and they're able to help you learn how to stay free in the taxes. And yes, they take care of us here at Simply Her Movement. So tell them that Simply Her Movement, the Empowerment Connection Show, we sent you. In the words of Mimi, you have been plugged. Okay. Listen, y'all, I'm talking to Jess Escalante. She has been here before. This is her return, and in this new season, like I told you guys, it's nothing like letting us greats get some rest. Cause baby, she been just shooting. That's all I can say. She just been coming out this whole thing just shooting. I just, you know what? Yeah, great. What? Yeah, great is what you see. Yeah, in Jessica Escalante. Yeah, cousin, for real. Yeah. What great is it? Yeah, she great. Yeah, and then come on now. You love how she said it. Yep, that's it. Let's pay some bills. Yeah. Let's just take care of business. And here's the other part of it, Jess, what I've learned in our movement of how you said earlier, pouring from a place and your own cup is empty. But you know what? Before it gets to the drop to nothing, I'm reminded of how the prophet told the woman, baby, go borrow some little vessels. Go get you some little jars. Cause this all you got. Come on, you not finna let it all just go out. It's no, cause you just not finna be out here. Cause that's what we do. We take it and we say, oh, I gotta be empty. No, I need to be full. Yeah. Cause everything on my overflow on my salsa. Thank you, Tiffany, for telling me that, sis. On your salsa is what you're serving to the others. You need your cup to stay full. And if your cup is not full, there's never an overflow for you to share. If you share from your cup, at some point, your supply gonna get low. Yeah. And then what you gonna have? You ain't gonna be able to serve them nor yourself. Why do they tell us on the flights, Jess? On the flight, they say what? Put your mask on first,
Right.
so you can be able to help somebody else. That's for a reason. But we have been told at some point in life, goes back again, what somebody told you your ear gates, you need to give all this, give all this, give all this. Now, I'm going to sit this one out. All I can give you is a smile, a prayer, and probably not even a word at all, because at this point, God has even said, no, shut your mouth. Just listen.
Yep.
There's a blessing in listening. So just let's talk about you and this travel life. I'm enjoying seeing you and M travel, baby. Y'all, I'm like, they got a bag every single day going somewhere. Tell me about the travel.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, y'all be gone. I'm like, M going somewhere. I want to get in the bag or something.
I know. I love it. I mean, I think I come from an airline.
Yeah, she got to travel like Bree. She got to travel like.
I come from an airline family, so traveling is in my blood. When I was pregnant with M, I was a flight attendant, so I flew the whole time. She was almost.
Wow. She said, "Be gone." Yeah.
Right. And so I have always loved traveling. I feel like there's so much education and learning and things that happen from travel, from your experience and experiencing cultures and different atmospheres, and that can just, the limits to that is just limitless, right? And so one of the biggest things that I wanted to do while she was so young, because that's a whole nother thing, right? We know when we're kids, we say, oh, when I get grown, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, because we kids and we don't realize that all these things cost us money, right? And that all this free time that we have as children, we don't have it anymore because we too busy going to work, figuring stuff out, our kids, paying. So I know how that is. And I'm just like, you know what? I want her to be able to travel and enjoy life and see the world prior to her getting to be an adult. And so when it is time for her to sit down and do 4 years or 8 years or 10 years, however long she decides to go to college for, or she is ready to spread her entrepreneurial wings and she really needs to sit down and focus, she doesn't feel like she's missing out on something, right? She doesn't feel like, oh, I want to be traveling. Oh, my friends are going here. I want it to be one of them things where I'm not missing. I done been everywhere. I done been everywhere. I have seen it all. Now I can really focus and dedicate my time and attention on this thing that I'm pursuing, whatever that thing may be. And so for me, it's such an honor to be able to, one, homeschool my daughter, but also travel with her, for her to see, simple things. And when I got to take my mom, she went with us to Jamaica, and she said, "Girl, he drive on the wrong side of the road." I said, "See, that's ignorant, right? That's ignorant because he not driving on the wrong side. He driving on the side they drive on. But if
that's their side.
No corner of the earth, you don't realize that things are not your normal. Everybody's normal. We different in different areas and in different cultures. And guess what? The USA is not the best country out there. I know that we live in this quote unquote American dream, and America wants us to believe that we are so honored and privileged to live here. But there are countries that are thriving, their people are thriving, they live well, and they are not envious of the USA. They don't want to be here. They're not, that. And so I love that I can give that to her and do that with her. And we loved Australia. And it was just an amazing thing. Again, she was 8 at the time. So to be able to give her that experience, she's feeding kangaroos and, holding babies and, I'm just like, this is what it's all about. And so I absolutely love it. And I encourage it. I encourage individuals.
And that's a real life social studies lesson out loud. Like that's the homeschooling, and that's a homeschooling of a lifetime right there. Yeah. So let's talk about that, Jess. Talk about how did you come about saying, I'm going to homeschool my child? Because with so much stuff we have going on with our public system right now with education, and, I am in the education field and advocacy for children. And I'm putting my head down and shaking it hard because it's look, at this point, teachers, Y'all so tired of it. Go get your 401k, a little change out of there, and go get 2 or 3 more friends, and y'all go get a little building and call it school.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. And you can put private on it,
Yeah.
or whatever kind of school name you want to put on there, but go get your own space, and then you'll be able to write your own ticket. And I promise you, if you're a good parent, a good teacher, parents will follow you where you go. Take away their system and make your own. But tell me about that, girl. How did you come about doing homeschooling? Because I homeschool my children a little bit.
Okay.
And we ain't do that, though. We ain't go to Australia.
No, we ain't do that, though. We ain't do that.
We didn't do that part. I just took him in the backyard and made him clean up.
Not the mud pile.
Learn how to be a sanitation. Learn how to be a sanitation agent.
Listen.
You learn how to roll that trash can to the end of the street so he can be able to meet the waste management sanitation
it's
agent at the end.
Information. It's all valuable information. Okay, it's all valuable.
Yes. Yes. He learned how to make them plate.
I think so I think I always desired to homeschool my kids. This is my philosophy with having kids, right? And it's a long philosophy, so just give me a minute. But
do what you do.
This is my philosophy with having kids. One, we need to do a little bit better about that. No, not a little bit. Let me take that back. We need to do a whole lot better about procreating. Okay. We gotta stop making babies just happen. This is somebody's life. Right? And things happen. Sure, my child happened, right? It wasn't that I was just out here planning it, but we really do have to do much better about our intentionality. Again, I think that's gonna be our word for tonight. Being intentional about our actions and what they can produce. Sex was created so we can produce or reproduce people. So we're gonna keep going out here doing this. We gotta, oftentimes we do it and then we just want to figure out the consequences. We just don't go with it. The system of school is as successful as it is because most of these people just don't want to deal with their kids.
Yep.
That's really just the bottom line, right? I don't really have the time, baby. They will send these kids to pre-K 2.5. Baby can't even walk in the school line, pen still in their diaper, but long as you not here bothering me, I'm okay with it, you know. And that was just never my thought process as a mother. I really take it very seriously. I only get 18 years with this person in the sense that are dedicated to me, right? And I pray, and I tell people this all the time, that we often have, especially I'm going to talk about the Black community because I'm Black, right? In the Black community, oftentimes we mistake the children needing us as love. That's not the same. My child needing me is not my child loving me. But what ultimately happens is in this opportunity that we have to raise our children, if we do this thing right, we can build and nurture a beautiful relationship that takes away the need after those 18 years and desires a companionship and a love relationship between the two of you. And so for me, I'm like, I only really get 18 years with this person to, pour into them, to love on them, to spend time with them. Because rightfully so, if 18, Emmy decides she want to go out to college or get married or do whatever, she don't ever have to call me no more, right? That's her right. As a grown adult woman, that is her right, where my place is in her life. But I pray that over these 18 years that we make this relationship so beautiful that the place in my life, that in her life that she desires, is big. That she my mom is my best friend. And so for me, it was very important that a lot of what she was what she learned, what she believed, what she heard was something that I was okay with. We're not a home that's cursing, fighting, screaming, and we don't do a lot. I think somebody named Young Dolphin, little one. We don't do a lot of that. We play kids bopping here or gospel. I mean, so for me, it was like, I don't want to have the conversation about two dads kissing in a pickup line. That's not the conversations I wanted to have with my 5 and 6 year old. And so for me, it was first that I wanted her to have a foundation that I knew she was sure of, that when she went out in the world she could navigate a little bit better for herself. Of course, she's still a child, so things are going to peer pressure and things like that are going to be there. But I wanted her to have a certain level of strength in her foundation where she was like, nah, my mom didn't really raise me to do that, so I'm not going to do that, you know? And so that was kind of where it started. And then between all the school shootings and COVID and just the mess of what systematic school is, I just was like, you know what? I think that this would be something that I take on. And so, again, I homeschooled her from basically like kindergarten all the way to the end of first grade. She went to second grade because I gave her my word that if at 7 years old still desired to go to school, I would send her. And so I don't like to be a liar. If I give you my word, even to my child, I'm going to do my best to keep that word. And so she decided that she wanted to go. So she went second grade and third grade. And by the middle of third grade year, by the time that Christmas was like, listen, you can go ahead and sign me out if you want to, and we can go ahead and just, you know, do this home thing. And so I'm like, no, you make a commitment, you're gonna finish third grade out. And she did. And then this year we started homeschooling. She has a classroom in here. And I mean, she gets the sleep in. I mean, school starts for us is about 9 a.m. And it's over about 1. It don't take us a whole lot of time. She has daily affirmations and, you know, things like that. We get to sit and discuss what she believes her devotional scripture is, what she believes to understand her scripture is, and you know, all those kind of things. We were working on division last week, and it was just, you know, her and I just, hey, personally, if everybody in the class can get it and nobody else, no, you can don't got if we need to work on division for 4 days, we're going to work on division for 4 days, because this is all about you. And so me being able to give her that personal learning style, again, amazing friends. I can never take that away from me. And so, you know, H.E.R was a teacher, great in education, science, and so anytime I was having issues with division, I'm like, friend, I need help. Help me, lifeline me, please. Give me a book, a coloring sheet, something to help me figure this out so I can help her know how to do this. And again, immediately she's like, okay, I got this resource. You want me to call this person? You know, and so it definitely takes a village of individuals that, you know, that can help and that support it. But I absolutely love it. And I always encourage parents, if you can, if you have the time, if you're, I don't take it for granted. Let me be clear. I am not like, oh, I am not the one that's like, quit your job and be an entrepreneur. Let God lead you in that, baby. In all your ways, acknowledge him. Please
let the Lord guide you.
Please let him guide you, because it ain't all beauty and flowers and roses and freedom. Let's be clear, okay? Let's be real clear about that. It's not always that. And if God has not called you to that area, at least not yet in this timing, in this season, stay where you at until he releases you. But, you know, I don't take it for granted that I am able to work a schedule that allows me.
Yeah, please let the Lord lead you.
Yes, please let him lead you, baby doll, because it ain't always, again, it ain't always peaches and cream. And people, you know, see things like this, your platform, and you know, things like that, and they like, oh, well, it's nice, and she got this, and it's like, you don't know that, you know, I don't know when they're trying to time when my deposit gonna come through, and no, you know, hoping I'm gonna get a client here and there. So you don't just jump out on that. Let that be a faith walk. But again, I am grateful and I'm honored and privileged that I have the opportunity to homeschool my child. And if you do, you know, if you desire to do some research, find out what works best for you. If that's the best thing for your child. I got so much, you know, Black people went homeschooling like that. So I got so much pushback about, oh, socially, she gonna have, baby, if anybody's ever met my child, they already know.
No.
Don't need no skills. Sis gonna out-talk you, me, and any and everybody else. Okay, so social skills ain't our issue. All right. They say, you know, she's gonna miss out on this and that, and it's just, I told you we headed to SeaWorld next week to meet other homeschool parents. I went to a homeschool social on Friday, and I met another, like you said, teachers are leaving the classroom. I met a mom that had 2 boys that said, oh, I was a teacher. She's like, I got a master's degree and everything else. She said, I left the classroom and now I homeschool my 2 children, you know, and so it is very possible. Look, she's trying to sneak in. Come on, baby. You can come on up and go to your room.
Hi.
Hey, Em.
Uh, it's
What's going on, Em?
like hi.
Em is in the building, y'all. See, she just been on a social outing now.
Listen, don't listen. She been on a social outing right now. You don't call her. She don't want to talk.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hi.
You all right?
Yes, I just went jumping with my cousin for his birthday.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
Yes, and it was tiring. I got hit in
Oh,
the thigh 3 times with a ball.
Oh my
And
god.
oh
dodged.
wow.
I got hit in the face.
See, she ain't got no social skills. You see, she ain't got no
Oh,
social
wow.
no social
So,
issues.
so are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Well, that counts as your P for the week, right?
No, for the day, not for the week, sis. Not for the week. Not for the week. Okay, go ahead.
I tried, Em. I tried to get you out of it this week.
No, ma'am. Not for the week. For the day.
Yes.
She can maybe skip
And
PE.
she always has a beautiful smile and a very beautiful attitude. Like she just, I mean, ever since I met your child from the first time, she's always, how can I help you? You need something? I was like, baby, listen, this little social butterfly right here. And then when you said I'm homeschooling her, and I was like, okay, yeah, I agree with it. That's a good one there because if it works for you, it works for you.
Yeah.
And I really truly believe that we truly should be able to explore so many opportunities when it comes down to how we can better and improve how we are really seriously showing up for our children.
Yeah.
The pandemic was a big one,
Mm-hmm.
and it really did prove and show who you are, and what you're standing on when it came down to how you really interact because parents had to learn really their children.
Yeah.
They had to learn how to work with their kids and like my friends who was saying every morning they showing up on the teams and they looking at parents passing by and the parents don't even have enough inside of them to put on the appropriate clothes. And I was like, what? It's like, child, them parents was coming in and you like, can you parent put on something appropriate? And they forgetting that we all here together.
Y'all
And I
together.
was like, oh wow. But when you really seriously think about it, how engaged or how far removed are parents from their actual children? What would you say, Jess?
Very, very,
Yeah.
very. But again, I think it goes into us really just not being intentional. It's one of these things
Mhm.
that our child just happened and that carries throughout their lives. It's just, well, we do just enough to get by, and this is oftentimes, I
Mhm.
believe, how we miss so many things with our kids, how we didn't know they were, having mental health issues, or how we didn't know they were sexually active is just because we were just doing enough so that they not
Mhm.
bothering us, and all these things. It's just, I mean, it is sad. And I say that because now that I work in the field that I do on the professional side and the for-profit side, I see how intentional other cultures and other races are about bringing life into the world. These people are
Yes.
not normally, they're not in their 18s, and and I'm not saying that for the whole crowd, right? There's some in all cultures that don't care, and that's gonna
Yes.
be what it is. But I have also seen the other side of that where they're like, listen, I'm settled in my career. We've done the school thing, we've done the financial planning, we are prepared to bring a child into this world. I mean, baby, they going to classes, they getting the support,
Mhm.
they're asking the questions, they want
Yes.
to know what they're doing and making sure they're doing it right. And when you give them the information, they are grateful for it, and they're like, yes, okay, I will do X, Y, and Z, and I mean, it's such a almost a difference in speed where these people invest, and I'm talking about hundreds or thousands of dollars to have the proper support. And so when people ask me like, what do you do? And I'm like, I literally help people. I mean, I'm at their house so the parent can see, so they can sleep. Yeah. But you know what that allows them to do? Be well rested, refreshed,
Yes.
ready to be parents in the morning. I don't know why Black
Yes.
people think that it's a badge of honor for us to be beat down, towed up, tied, throwing up, sick, and still pressing along. And we like, oh, I'm doing it. Very.
They call it strong. They call that strong. That's when I don't want that strong. I don't want to be that strong.
The Bible
I don't want that strong.
I'm strong. I want to be weak and let the Lord make me strong. Because listen, that ain't it. I told my husband, like, if you want to have back, I'm not having no more kids unless I have a me. Because who getting up with it? Not me. I'm not getting up with it. I'm going to sleep. Okay, somebody else can get up with it, but I'm not. I'm not changing like 2, 3 a.m. I'm not doing it. Yes, I do that for my progression, but what I'm telling you is I go through 9 months building this little person inside me, and then however many hours to push them out, somebody gonna take care of it when it get here.
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
It sounds, it may sound bad but I can tell the difference in the level of, grace that they're giving. They're more patient. I'm not going in where these people are cussing their kids out, and it's hey, we prepare for this. We are prepared for this. And when I wake up in the morning, I have the energy, the mindset, and everything else that I need so that I can go and be the better parent that I can be, And so I take such joy. I typically work a lot with first-time parents that have no idea what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They come home and they like, am I changing the baby right? Or, all these kind of things. And I'm like, yep, we doing it right. Yep, you got it. And I go from that till by the time I leave where these people are confident, like, yep, he's doing this and he's doing this now. And and I'm like, I love to see it. I love to see it. And so it is such a beautiful, it's an honor to be a parent. It really is. I don't take it lightly. That's why I got that one baby and I sit myself down somewhere because I said, no, if I can't take however many 3, 4 of them to Australia, then I don't need to be having them. That's my personal opinion. That's not everybody's thing, right? But for me, it was more than just making them. It was what the experience of their life would be if I made them, right? If I can't, again, yes, I'm homeschooling Emmy, but I use an online curriculum that costs me every month. Baby, we got a morning because Emmy is dyslexic. So we got to go get private tutoring that costs me hundreds of dollars each month. Yeah. Memberships here and memberships there. So she can do cooking class 1 day a week. She got the jumping membership so we can make sure she costs me money. And if I'm not able to render that to 3 and 4 and 5 kids, to me, it was unfair to go and have 3 and 4 and 5 kids. So I stopped. Yeah. I wanted them to have a quality of life that I desired. And so I felt like it was unwise for me to just keep creating them if I couldn't. I spent about $1,000 or so for Emmy's birthday every year. I don't think I could do that if I had 3, 4 of them. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But that was what.
Because Emmy went to Vegas and I was like, she left me again. She just keep leaving me. Vegas. Emmy in Vegas. And I'm like, Emmy, did you go by the Caesar's Palace and go down there to the Cheesecake Factory? Did you go over there to the big doll, the big toy store? I was just trying to check it out.
Emmy had her a good time. Not only did Emmy go, but her and her friends. Okay.
I was going to say she took friends with her. She had friends. I'm like, you got friends checking up and they catching flights too? Come on now. Creating a whole entire culture movement.
What a grown people.
Because like you said, Jess, like you just said, it's something that you're introducing to your family, your culture, which we all have an option to do these things. And y'all, this is not a slight in the shade to nobody who came. No. This is just what it is. I mean, like she said, you have an option. You have an intentional space in place where you can create these very moments in however it is, what works for your household.
Right.
And if it works for your household, create it and let it work.
Right.
If it's not something that you can do for your household, be okay with that. But put in an effort where this can be an option for what it is. Because if you do show these experiences, that is opening up. Takoya said that last week about how she and I became connected. And that was because I got her from a teen program that I was running. And she said it. Those experiences gave her that option of college is an option. Being able to pledge is an option. Traveling is an option. Teaching is an option. All these experiences and exposure moments was something that made her say, oh, I like that. Let me see how can I be a part of that. And that's why it's important that you do take your children somewhere. It's so many great places in the city itself Our city has so many amazing places where you can go visit and really serious. Like start there. Start with a staycation. We got some beautiful hotels and lodging spaces. Give your kids. That was something that I did. Just was I gave my children a staycation every month. I'm a Marriott baby. Shouts out to the Marriott. Come on, y'all, and y'all don't endorse me. Give me a little affiliate and everything because I'm Marriott. I love it. And every time Marriott had something going on, and then they would give me this little card in the mail when they had a new space, and I could go stay because I was staying so much. Come on, kids, let's go.
Yeah.
Now they think they're not supposed to stay at no other hotel but the Marriott because that was something that we did, and there's so many great things that we experienced by staying there, and it gave my kids an opportunity to know that there is a better way of living. We in the hood, but there's also some better livings and some relaxation where you can't keep all these lights on and run up all they little light bill because we paid for it over here, but not in my house. So yeah, hmm yeah, I love it. I love it.
Webb always says exposure expands expectations. And it is
Yeah,
so true. That is so true. That is sometimes you again if you only keep your kids in their hood or in there because again like you said your household is a culture but let's forget
hmm
what nationality you are. Let's just talk about the culture of your home, whatever goes on there, and you can always tell simple things. It means little stuff. I have never been one that we finna eat chicken nuggets and hamburgers everywhere we go. And you got to at least try it, right? You got to try the Brussels sprouts. You have to try the whatever it may
hmm
be, because again, you have to expose yourself to some things if you want to really grow. And it's true not only for children, but even as us as adults. Get out, like you said
Yes,
about networking. It's something that I have definitely been trying to be better at. Webb is really good at networking and making that your
yes,
networking
she is.
have those
Big
individuals.
shouts out to Web. She'll be on soon.
Yeah, so I love that, and that's a level of exposure, exposing yourself to other people and letting learning about them and what they do and how you guys can come together and all those things. So most definitely, it's definitely not a shout, but do like I said, my point was to that if you're intentional about it, right? How do you want your
Mhm.
children? What do you want that to look like?
Yeah.
Same thing. Well, like, what do you want your marriage to look like? What do you want these things
Yes.
to look like? What do you want your friendship to look like? And when you are intentional about it and you take that time to write it down and see what it is that you really do desire, then you know what you're going after. Half of the time we end up in the situations that we're in and after the mess that we're in and things like that because we weren't clear about what we wanted from the beginning. We weren't clear about what the expectation
Mm.
was from the beginning. So we get into these relationships unclear and then we like, oh, they hurt me. Yeah, well, if you would have wrote down clearly what it was that you wanted and then just jump into something, you would have given this thing some time to really evaluate it and make sure that it was a good fit for you. So again, I would say tonight, if nothing else, our word is intentionality, just being more intentional in all aspects of your life, in your prayer life, in your friendship life, in your parenting life, and whatever portion of your life. So that way you can see really the fruits of what you desire.
So just let's slide into that. Y'all, we talking with Jess Escalante tonight. Just let's talk about relationship in those marriages because we cannot just sit here and say all these great things on friendship and your parenting and not talk about the one chord, the one accord, the one of you in unity of marriage, and also that portion of the relationship, the intimacy of the relationship of how I'm able to be the woman that I am to the man that I have been chosen by. Because you know what the word says that when a man finds a wife, he finds what? Favor with the Lord. So he finds his good thing, the favor. So how do you find that balancing and the first portion of what your whole entire being is beyond being the woman, now the wife?
Ooh, that's probably the area that cost me the most work, child. I ain't gonna even lie to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know, we are, I guess I would still say we're newlyweds. We've only been married about 3 years now. And
Yeah.
And they say, like the first few years are your hardest years. And I think that's just because you're trying to figure out, right? You're just trying to figure it out. You're trying to find your place. You're trying to figure out how you fit. And I think we probably all heard this, that love is not enough. Let's just be clear about that. Love is not enough to sustain a marriage. You can love somebody. Again, we talked about that. We commanded to love everybody, but I don't always like everybody. I don't want to talk to everybody. I don't have to deal with everybody. So love is not simply enough to maintain a healthy marriage. And so the reality of it is finding how, what, why, when, and what works within your marriage, and then being willing to do the work. I think it all takes that. I am a very, very self-aware person. I am always doing self-work. I am always seeking to figure out how I could be better in a number of areas. And that can be annoying to people. I have figured that out in friendships, relationships, whatever, because oftentimes people are like, why she gonna go sit down? Like, why she won't leave well enough alone? Or it comes like, oh, well, she thinks she's too good. She's always trying to do something else, that kind of thing. And so it can be very annoying to have that in your, in your life. And I have come to be okay with that. I've come to respect when relationships end because I just wasn't their vibe, or I do too much, or I ask too many questions, or I push too hard, and so I have come to be okay with that. But when you're talking about it in your marriage, this is not somebody that you could just be like, well, baby, I'm just not gonna deal with you no more. You really have to figure out a safe and well balance, and it really does take God. And again, I go back to healthy friends, baby. It was times even in our 3 years where I have said, I can't even take this to God. And I had to depend on my friends taking it to God for me. And them saying, I know you don't know what to pray about right now. Or asking me flat out, what you want me to pray? Do you want me to pray God free you from this? Or do you want me to pray God reconcile? What do you want me to pray? So that way I can be, and so again, having, baby, I can't harp on that enough. Having good friends, having people in your corner that can support you. And then again, like I said, Johnny said she's been married 21 years. Having that to lean on, to say, hey, the marriage that you see and you love that we have today ain't always been our marriage. We've had some things that we had to refine, that we've had to build, that we've had to shape, that we've had to work at. And so hearing that, again, it's just the new fire of Breeze love, and just it's a number of things that it takes. But I would just definitely say that it takes the willingness to work, and then again balance and knowing what, when, where, and how to, because that balancing thing, we throw it out there as if it's something easy, and when it's just two things, one on one side and one on the other, maybe it is a little easy. But when we're talking about you being a business owner, a mother, a wife, or this or that balancing thing is not as easy as 50 and 50, right? You got to know what needs what, how much of what, in what timing, and how often. And it's such a delicate process that if you don't seek God, you're going to probably mess around and mess it up.
So Jess, do you go to that place where with your mate, you go and you sit down with them and say, this is what we got on the table? Are those meetings important?
Of course.
Because some people, honestly, Jess, some people don't believe that the sitting down and let's have a conversation about it, it's some people don't believe it's necessary until you get to that point. It's like, you don't hear me, you don't see me, I'm right here. Yeah.
No, I think that buildup can be dangerous. I think that you just moving on, allowing that buildup, because we all react to that buildup differently. Some of us become numb. We don't feel anything, right? After it's built up so much pain, we don't know how to compartmentalize it, so we just stop feeling, right? So some of us get numb. Some of us run, right? Some of us runners, we track stars. We just don't leave. Some of us are going to, be vengeful. Now I want you to feel what I'm feeling. So I'm finna do everything. Now I'm finna cheat on you. I'm at to sleep with your brother. It gets So you have to know you. You have to know how and what, but that buildup can be dangerous. And so yeah, for me, I am such a person that loves clarity. I love communication. And for my husband, that's not his thing, right? Communication is very hard for him. So for us, that has been a big struggle because I want to talk about everything and he wants to talk about nothing.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those
Yeah.
things where you have to find that safe balance. But again, my question for me is always, what can you do? Because I'm only in control of me, right?
Yeah.
And that is hard for us to understand, us fixers,
Yeah.
us helpers, us encouragers,
Mm-hmm.
us called, us leaders, us mamas, us daddies, us spirituals, whatever. We want to put our hands on everything. And what I am
Yes.
finding out is that, like Journey said earlier, oftentimes God is wanting to get the glory out of our situations. So he wants
Yes.
to stop putting our hands on it so that he can
Yes.
be glorified in it. And oftentimes we won't stop putting our hands on it until our hands have been burnt, until they hurt, until our fingers been broken. Now that I can't use my hands, God, now you do it. Now I want you to do it. And so that is the simple thing. I have been intentionally trying to say, okay, God, one, what are you trying to teach me from this?
Okay.
Two, God, what can I do? How can you change me? In what ways do I need to be altered? And why do I feel this way? And how can you heal some of these areas in me before I approach this situation? And then three, God, ultimately, I want your will to be done because
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes when we want our will to be done, we're going to try to manipulate God into making his will our will. And that just ain't what's going to happen because God can't be manipulated, right?
Nope.
Can't be manipulated. And
So
so,
let me ask this.
go
Let me
ahead.
ask this right there, Jess. So let me ask you this here. So in the communication piece with your husband and in the your communication piece, was this something that you guys didn't notice from the start? Or was it something that because we've been in the rosy place, I didn't see it and say anything about it? Because again, we dating, we twirling our hair, we giggling and smiling, and we forgetting that there's something that it needs to have. And I'm not going to even say it's a red flag. I'm going to just say there's something that just needs some attention to. But because I'm constantly just talking, he's so cute, he's so cute. I didn't miss the whole portion of the major parts of who we are and what we're going to need to be is consistency in conversation. Because you cannot do nothing without talking.
Mm-mm.
You can't. There's always communication, whether it's verbal, whether it's nonverbal, whether it's in a look. It's communication is always gonna be key to every element of what we do. So how do you really seriously navigate through those places, and what is it that you would say to yourself at that moment and say, okay, I wish we could have had a little bit more of this kind of structured conversation, or if any?
Yeah, no. I mean, again, this where that self work come in because the red flags, the stuff, it was there. Let me tell you what happened though, right? The fixer in me, I can make everything right in me. Mary saying, I can love you to a place. I can heal you to a place. I can show you enough that's going to correct these things that I see are in error, right? It wasn't that I didn't see the errors, but there was in me this ability that I thought that I had, that I could come in like, oh, all he needs is this, and all he needs is someone to be consistent. All he needs is a shoulder to cry on. And because I thought within my power, I was gonna come in and fix this thing because of all the love that I carry and all the great things that I do and all this blah 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 blah. Yeah, no, God came in and said, no, you're not God. You're not God, sis. And you reached out to me during my me journey and told
Yeah.
me, that, like to keep sharing and to keep going through it. And I mean, it was something that God really, it didn't start with him, but I realized why God was showing me how I had gotten there, right? Because it was like, I did this in all relationships, right? I meet people and I take it on. I'm like, oh, they just need a good friend. If they just had a good friend and show them the way and love them and be there for them consistently and ride for them, baby, they would be X, Y, and Z. You know, you see the potential. And again, we talk about church, but sometimes we have to realize, or the reality is, church is a place. But these giftings that we have, discernment, prophetic, the apostolic, they show up in our everyday lives. Before Journey, I was telling testimony how even from a child, she was not raised in church, didn't do all that growing up. But even from a child, she had dreams and remembers having visions and seeing things before, but nobody to nourish it, right? Nobody to cultivate it. So I just thought she was crazy, you know, but being prophetic, the church make her prophetic. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
Didn't make her prophetic. She was called to prophecy prior to probably being even formed in her mother's womb, right? So these things that we have, and with me, I'm just like, I was told a few years ago, like, oh yeah, I see an apostolic anointing on you. Well, all apostles do is really just establish. They have been called to go out, it produce and establish, right? The apostles of the New Testament, all they did, or the Old Testament, all they did was really just go out and create something. They may have started a church here or started someone there, prepared it, set it up, and then they was on about their business, right? So that producer in me, that natural sense to produce, that natural desire to create an atmosphere, that is just something that's probably God ordained and he gave me. But it works in both my spirit and my natural realm. It's not that I get to turn it off. And so oftentimes I was going into spaces, I would see potential in people. I would see like, oh, you destined to be great. Oh, I see God as, I can see this thing, whether I'm saying it like this or not. I can see like, oh God, if she just do X, Y, and Z, baby, if she just get disciplined, so then I would go in and say, well, I'm gonna be your accountability partner, because all you need is a little discipline, girl. And if you get you a little discipline, oh, you're gonna skyrocket. So then I would take on this burden of being accountable. Hey, you need to do that. Hey, you need to do this. And I'm wanting her potential more for her than she wanted for her. And I desired it more than, and then I would end up hurt. Because now these people not answering my phone calls. They not calling me back. And all I was trying to do was help them. And I sold so much money. I remember I had gave her that $500 because I just knew she just needed. And I was just trying to be. And God was like, but that's on you. Because I did all of this doing is not what I called you to do. And so I had to, again, learn how to take my hands off of it. This control freak in me, this need to put my hand on it, this need for me to be able to move and manipulate things to work accordingly to what I see needs to be done is really an antichrist spirit, because I'm not allowing God and Jesus to be the master of this situation. I want to put my hand on it and I want to be the master of it, but I want to say that God did it through me. Right. And so I just think that with me, yes, did I see it? Yes, I definitely did. But who I was when I said I do and who I am today are two different people. And that's another thing that happens is in marriages is your spouse able to evolve with you? And if they're not able to evolve with you, can they accept the evolution that you go through? Because the person that I was that was willing to fight to make sure you saw your potential and make sure you fulfilled it at that age, I'm not her no more. My hands are now like, baby, if you want it, amen, I'll support you. But if you don't, amen, that's fine with me too.
Yeah.
You'll never have to reach your potential because I ain't your God.
So how does his response come? Is it in a place of where he's like feeling as if he still has that same 100% of support from you, or is it more or less is she really supporting me, or like that wondering there? You know what I'm saying? You know how sometimes when we like you say, I'm now at a place of I'm just gonna support you if you need it. If you don't, okay, let's keep moving. But is it a fear for him, or a concern, antennas up and alert, like, oh my God, she's not doing that same thing? Or was it just one of those things of where he's like, okay, this is what I can really, really, truly deal with within? Because remember, when we're over sharing, over caring, over loving, and then we come on off of it, whereas we're saying, I'm gonna show you. Well, no, really, you ain't doing nothing but showing yourself what it was, and that is back up, sit down, and watch it just flow. So how is that response?
So it is, again, I would say, I'm gonna say all the time, when you move with God, God makes everything well. That,
Yes, he does.
you know, he's so amazing in who he is and what he does, and you know it's God because he makes it well. And so it wasn't that I was just like, oh well, baby, do you, you know, it wasn't in that spirit. It was really in the deliverance and the liberty in which God had given me, where I was saying, hey, first of all, you're not his mama. Okay. So you cannot micromanage and manage what he does. And you have to allow him to desire it and want it for himself. And because that was my takeaway, I was able to have these conversations like, you know what? One, I want to apologize because I was so tunnel vision on your potential. I didn't even ask you if the potential of what I saw was even what you wanted, what you desired. I said, so I had to come first and say, I'm sorry. And, you know, and hey, I'm going to really just give you space and grace to do what you feel is what you're supposed to do. Because I didn't go into it with an attitude and that thing, because it was God, because it was deliverance, because it was liberty, it was really now it almost again. I remember before we got married, before we were even engaged, we were in couples counseling. Baby, I believe in counseling. So listen, I don't care your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. We need it, okay? But I remember, and the lady said, listen, if you always fix everything, he'll never learn. She said, if it's his responsibility to keep the lights on and he forget to put the lights on and you go pay him, she said, he'll never learn. She said, it may cost you some time being in the dark. And my issue, again, that control freak in me was like, I cannot be in the dark.
I can't be in no dark.
In the dark, you know. But ultimately, letting go, releasing that. If we're in the dark, we're in the dark, right? It then put the weight of it on him. So where he wouldn't have felt the weight, he had no choice but to feel it. And so it allowed him to then have to be in a position that I desire for him to be. But then for God to cultivate some things in him, because now it's like, listen, I'm here, but that's really between you and God. I'm here, but you gotta see God about that. You gotta seek him about that. And so it has, again, because God does everything well, it has not been that. But again, I always say, go with God, because if you do it with the wrong attitude, with the wrong motive, with the wrong heart, you can really go in and mess up some stuff. You can't go in talking about, oh, if you, baby, I don't need you, and then think that God, that it's not. But so you have to really go. You really have to go with God, because again, he will make everything well with time, but it takes going with him.
I think that is beautiful to say, because it goes back again to what you're saying. I am doing my own work, which gives me a way to be able to now overflow onto someone else and give them I like to say, give them a real experience with me. Right. You know, because that representative life is something. It's something. And whether you want to believe it or not, you're showing up with that representative. And the truth is that how long can you really stay on that side of the mountain? How long can you stay in that field of, I'm just showing up with my representative? I'm this person. I really am. No, we do desire for you to have all these amazing things, but I can't be saying to you, Jess, I want you to be at the mountaintop. Come on, let's go up to the top. And you're like, girl, I'm afraid of heights. But I'm studying somebody, no, come on, let's push. Then you decide to not even show up the day we're going up. I'm all in my feelings because I told you what I saw. I told you what I heard. And I want to now show you where you're supposed to be, but it's not my place. My place is, at that point, God say what? Go tell her and move away. Leave it alone. But we want to be able, like you say, we want to be the one that tell and give and then receive the praise. Ooh, hallelujah. No, boo. No. You're not God. You're not God. He didn't hire you for that part. He hired you to do one part and one part only. And truth be told, he didn't really need to hire you then.
He
didn't. He didn't. He didn't really hire you then. He just asked you to go do a one-time invoice. But here you go, think you got the full contract. You don't.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that because I especially like you said in marriages, so young. We got all these places where people are talking about social media, a couple goal. How we've been seeing this so much lately, where people who have years of experience in these times of moments, and now they're dropping like flies on the divorce rating. When the truth is that somebody forgot to do something. And the part that I love what Judge Mathis said, I'm out here chasing the road when I should have been at home. Because my wife asked for a few simple things, and that is just to spend some time with her. I applaud him for that. My prayers go out to him. But I applaud him for saying that on the interview because, like you said, and here I am still. I'm out here on the road still.
Right.
Because he has enough. So one would believe you have enough. And if she's saying all I'm needing is a little time, then that's an offering that I believe that should be given.
Yeah.
If that's all that's needed. But it also goes into the place me and my friend, my bestie was talking about it today about service. Women are looked upon in a lot of times in relationships with their mates as servants. They just offering out a servant. Men don't care to even be intentional in the relationship. They prefer to just get a service. So the woman, she finds herself in her emotions trying to provide that service when truth is that he's not really intentionally trying to be there to build. And I just told her, you got to remember, we were given to man.
Right.
God gave us. He said it's not no good. The man was good with the animals and all of what he had going on. And so he don't know what to really do with something that was given to him. And then when he did get us, we got beside ourselves and started listening to, there you go again, the folks with in their ears. And so now you're sitting there like, man, listen, I don't know what to do with them. I don't really know. Because we never really seriously turned to say, well, like you said, let me get me together.
Yeah.
Let me go and check me. Then I can then come to the table and say, well, babe, I apologize for my behavior. I like that, Jess. And I think that is good that you said that you go to, that you went to relationship counseling with any person, because that was something. And I think truly, honestly, that is a good deal, because if you're going to plan out relationshiping to that place of where I'm intentional for something to go to a forever, we need to go sit down and see what we doing to the now.
Yes.
I think that is good. Now let me ask this question. That woman that is really seriously in a place of she's just not able to connect her dots, and she's feeling as if she's in a one-sided space of that marriage and frustrated. And there is no real live good friends that can give her the positive push. Where do you think that person should receive or can receive that kind of resource? Because I see that a lot too. I'm seeing that a lot. We go back to church. It's so many first ladies I talk to, so many minister wives that I speak with that are, their hearts are so, oh my God, broken.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there and they're like, Nikki, I just don't know where to turn. What would you say to them beyond the prayers of God, and where can you really seriously say that a resource could be for them?
Well, I mean, again, we just talked about counseling for sure. And again, sometimes, especially someone like you're saying that maybe a minister's wife or a pastor's wife, or I don't say go to maybe a church counselor or your Christian counselor. Go find you a licensed practicing therapist, one of those individuals that has no idea who you are, no idea what your role is, just some, good education and good that to really just, talk. Therapy is just a tool. And I say this all the time. Therapy is just a tool. That's it. And that's
Mhm.
just like if you have a wrench in your garage. If you never use it, you don't know how to use it, the tool does you no good. It's just going to take up space.
Mhm.
So ultimately, if you are not properly using these tools, if you're not able to go to counseling, if you're not able to go to therapy, or right now, or you don't feel like you're comfortable in that, I would say, obviously pray. And listen, I'm a church girl, born and raised, so I'm always gonna say pray. But I have also been in places where I could not pray, right? And I told you guys I had to lean and depend on friends to do that for me. If you're saying, listen, I don't have the friends, I can't go to my church family because I don't want them to know what's going on, I don't have the resources for therapy, you will be surprised, one, how many, if you reach out to a lot of these licensed professionals that are also just people. There's a lot of individuals on my timeline that are either willing to, offer you something. Your job oftentimes has things with HR. I don't know why, again, us folks, we don't like to look into our resources and what's available to you. But just like you have health insurance, many of us on there, you have something for your mental health. And so
Yep.
tap into your resources on your job or on your husband's job and just see what's available to you. Also, books. We don't, they say if you don't want black person to know a thing, put it in a book. If you don't want them to know it, put it in a book, because we don't often read. But find you some
Yeah.
help books. Find you something that allows you to walk through something together. A planner. Both Bree as well as Journey offer like a self, like affirmation or a planner book where you can
Yeah.
really journal information out and you can kind of get your thoughts and stuff out. The battle most of the time is in our minds, and the enemy will beat us up, drag us through the mud in our thought process, and so we're just sitting here stewing in it. But if you get it out, and you do, a lot of my deliverance has come from just verbalizing it, me just saying
Yeah.
it and hearing. Baby, it's crazy. I trust myself more than I trust God. Why? Right? When I said that out loud, it sounded terrible, but it was also the reality that I needed. But this is what you're doing. And oftentimes we don't say things out loud because we don't want to hear it. It
Oh.
sounds crazy, it offends us, it hurts us, but ultimately, if you can hear it and digest it and think about it, it makes you aware of it. And then I had to say, well, why do you trust yourself more than God? And He was the one that created you. He knows you better than you know yourself. He's loved you when you didn't know how to love yourself. He has a
Mm-mm.
plan for you, one to prosper you, but you trust you more than you trust. So when I got to processing that thing, and the word is always a good counselor, but again, we have to know the word is nothing but a tool. And guess what? What we
Mhm.
have seen is the devil, churches, people have used that tool and manipulated it to use it for however they want to use it. But you got to know how to use your tool. So oftentimes, if you can find a way to journal that thing out and have those conversations with yourself so that you know what you're really dealing with and stop letting the enemy play in your mind, that will be a great resource. I always tell people too that I'm counseling, especially when they have marital issues, is go back to the source. Did you seek God before you said I do? Did you ask God if this was your husband? Because we need God to fight our battles with us. But if He never ordained this or He didn't call this, you also can't hold Him obligated to help you in some stuff you don't went and did. Now if I sought God and I say, now God, is this the man that you have for me? And I believe and He said yes to me, then when I'm in my time of need, oh God, you have a responsibility to see me through this because I sought you before I went into covenant with you about this, before I went into covenant with Him. And so you have almost a responsibility to me. That amount of weight that we put on God oftentimes comes, we don't feel comfortable putting that weight on God because oftentimes we know we ain't did what we supposed to do. We haven't sought Him
Mhm.
really. So we don't put the weight on Him. God, I need you to come through. We go to begging God to come, opposed to holding God accountable to His word. And that's really what it should be. I'm going, God, you said. So I
Yeah.
don't have to beg. I don't have to ask. What I know that you can't do is lie. So what I'm gonna do is stand flat-footed on your word and say that you said this, and now I know that you're obligated to come through. You're required to see me through this thing, but it takes some intimacy with God. It takes some time
Yeah.
with Him. It takes some discipline to be able to throw your weight around like that with God, and to know that you have a relationship with Him. That it's not like, back in the day, like, oh, you can't ask God why. Baby, I'm asking God why, when, well, who. Now He's not obligated to answer me, but I'm going to ask. That's my daddy.
That's
I
it.
can ask him if I want to ask him. Now he ain't got to answer me, but I'm gonna ask him.
That's
So
it.
those kinds of things. So if that is the case, if you didn't seek God before, this may be God saying it's time for you to release this. The grace for this situation that I gave you is gone. If you sought God and He did give you the yes, and He is standing by Him, then stand again, sit still. Sometimes we just got to be still. We got to be quiet, and we just got to wait and trust that God's going to do what God does.
Listen, y'all. Just listen. You have blessed us tonight. I don't know about y'all, but baby, listen. When the greats go rest, that's all I'm gonna keep saying. People don't understand. This year, this season, the Her Side part of this, the Simply Her Empowerment Connection show, the little abbreviation and the subtitle I said this season is the Her Side. We telling our side, and the thing is that you really seriously just has put this into a perspective that it shows how when we do really seriously go on and back away from everything and
Yeah.
get into that place of where we are really seriously sitting on our hands and allowing God to speak into us and pull us and pour into us and give us what we need, we do come out and we're helping people way better, I believe, when you get you some rest better than what it was before. Because grace and mercy is what it is. It's going to follow you every day, but to see and to really see God's glory, just the back of the glory,
Yeah.
because he ain't gonna show you the full of it because you ain't ready for it. But to see the backside of the glory, it's like, come on, God,
Yeah.
really? And then you start thinking like, man, if I could just continue to trust you like this, oh man, I know I can really go ahead on and go to that full level of potential. So yes, ma'am, it's intentional, it's necessary. We appreciate you, Jess. Let me tell you, I don't take for granted the relationship that we have. Thank you for jumping in my DM. I honor you and I am so proud of you. Thank you for just always being the genuine person that you are. You are really seriously necessary. And what you have to do, what God has put inside of you, those quarterly meetings, and every time you and your girlfriends are together showing love, you're really seriously taking away that negativity for somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody who is vicariously living through. I say it all the time. You may be the only Jesus somebody sees. So what are you showing them? Keep showing them Christ.
Yeah.
Keep showing them the true way to build. Keep showing them how to make it through. Didn't say you had to be perfect, saying that you are doing it the way that God has intended for you to do, because that's your job.
Yeah.
Unapologetically moving, unapologetically changing. And really seriously, you're doing it for yourself so you can be very much well great for others too.
Yes.
So I appreciate you, Jess. I appreciate you for saying yes. Thanks for coming on our platform. Man, listen, y'all, she doing well. She returned back. She's well. She's doing great. And we're looking forward to more. So Jess, tell the people exactly where they can find you at, how they can get connected, what's the next to come. And let's, get on up out of here. Let's go.
Okay, well, I am Jessie Escalante on all things. I know I don't look like a Jessie Escalante, but that's me. So Jessie Escalante, please do. We have Conversation Corner this Thursday night as well. Me and the girls that Nikki talked about tonight. We have Conversation Corner every third Thursday. So please join us with our live conversation. We absolutely love that. I'm hoping Nikki decide to come to karaoke, but if she don't, meet me there. Meet me and my friends there. If it's your birthday, September, come join us for live karaoke. We do that once a month as well. It will be this month on the 27th. So come out and have a good time and celebrate life and birthdays with us. It is always tons of fun. again, Black women in the building. The location is owned by a Black woman. My karaoke mobile service is by myself and my brother. The chef that offers food, Black woman. There's a hookah lady, Black woman. So it's always love. It's always empowerment. It's always encouraging. I want y'all to be on the lookout too for next year. We're going to be finally doing Friend I Honor. And it's going to be a great opportunity for, again, individuals. I hate funerals, but I love celebrating life. So people like Nikki and, you know, those that are in the community, people can get together and honor her for who she is, what she does, those things that seem like they're small or, you know, overlooked. We don't know how encouraging it is just to hear, man, what you doing, I needed it. You know, keep doing it. Don't stop doing that. And so that's what Friend I Honor is going to be about. It'll be in April of next year. So please keep a lookout for that. Hopefully we'll have a Friendsgiving before the year is over to get you guys out and have a good time with us. So I'm excited. There's hopefully a lot more coming. And if you guys ever need resources, you have questions that I can answer for you, please reach out. Don't hesitate to do so. I absolutely love y'all. There's nothing you can do about it. Again, Nikki, thank you so much for having me. It was an amazing conversation tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, y'all give it up for Jess Escalante. Thank you so much, Jess. Have an amazing night. All right, y'all, listen. Was that not a good conversation? I don't know what you're thinking. I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying being back. I just think this is so cool how we are seriously able to bring back some amazing guests and their study poured in. It's like it's just getting better, y'all. And Jess Escalante is one of those who really seriously, her heart for us as women. This was a personal women's thing tonight. And her heart for women, it pours in. But truly the intentions of what she said tonight was build relationships with yourself. Get it for you. Let's do it for ourselves this time. It's very important that we are being personal. Make this thing personal this year. Her side, the pouring, and all these great things. Like I told you guys, I asked God, if I got to do this, I need to be able to do this from a place where it's going to be real, live, and experience that's going to be able to get us all personal in our own better good. So then we can get together, unite, and become so much greater as we are moving forward in life. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be trials. There's going to be tribulations. But guess what? You can do it with a friend. You can do it with somebody else. You can do it with someone who's, like Jess said, intentionally moving through life to make sure that everything is well. Y'all, tonight was amazing. I thank y'all for hanging out. Keep hanging out with me each and every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The Simply Her Empowerment Connection Show. We back. We're excited. Come on, join us next Sunday. Yep, I got my pastor coming. Marcus Whitaker, my pastor, is going to be in the house. So, y'all, we're going to get to do a little churchy. But not only that, too, he's going to talk about his real estate lifestyle and all those other fun things. Tell us about his amazing girls and his wife. And we're just going to have a fun time. I'm super excited about it. And then, of course, you want to be in the house as well. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Again, Elite Professional Services and Eli's Learning Academy. If you would like to be one of our sponsors, come on and join in and be a part of this. You can sponsor too. We love you. It's not about what I say. It's about how I make you feel. And man, I hope I made you feel some type of way. Have a good night.